What's up, artists, art lovers, and other creatives out there? And welcome to the first episode of Art Life Confidential. This is a podcast that will be centered around art making and how to deal with pursuing your craft in the real world post college, okay? I'm your host, Traci L. Turner. So, I'm going to take this time, since this is the introductory episode, to talk a bit about what to expect in future shows of the podcast and to just set the tone overall so you just kind of know what to expect. I'm going to introduce myself as well and chat with you about where I am currently in my own pursuit of being an artist. So, all right, let's get into it. All right, so let me tell you a bit about the podcast. I'll let you know the inspiration for it, why I'm doing this, what types of topics that you can expect for me to cover in the show. So yeah, well, as I probably mentioned, I'm an artist and I'm out here just trying to figure it all out, man. And I'm sure you are too if you stumbled upon this show. I started this podcast to connect with other creatives who are in the trenches, the people who don't want to give up. This is also for anyone who is just curious about the ups and downs and unseen parts of the creative process. I mean, because quite as it's kept, non-artists are fascinated by what we do too, right? So hopefully through some of the things that I'll cover on the show, we'll all just kind of learn together and be able to create a space of support and understanding about how to be a creative out here. I started this podcast as a way to offer a realistic, honest perspective about what it's like to pursue an art-centered life or a creative career after art school. So here's where I kind of have to mention the movie Art School Confidential, which I'm sure if you've seen the movie, you immediately picked up on the fact that the title of the show borrows from that. So if you haven't seen the movie, it is satirization of the art world at the collegiate level. And a lot of the stuff about it was pretty funny and kind of relatable. But as a lot of us know who have been to art school or any sort of college level institution, the real work happens after school, right? All the stuff about staying motivated, networking, making a name for yourself, etc. As important as all of that stuff is, it isn't always covered in school, if at all. So I run into artists still who probably are way more educated than me or more consistent than I am or ever will be, but they're still just as stumped about how to quote unquote make it, or they have an equally hard time coping with the often brutal cycles of pursuing their passion. So this show hopefully will kind of offer a look into what a lot of that is, or how to apply strategies and things like that in the real world. So luckily, though, over the years, the resources that are out there have been expanding. And so I just thought it was a good time to try to throw my hat on in and see how that goes, right? So, I mean, look, I'm just going to admit here that I don't know it all, and most of us don't, and it's okay. But at the very least, I wanted to try to offer a space for emerging and aspiring artists to connect with stories and thoughts that feel like their own. I want this to be a resource that covers topics and obstacles that y'all can relate to, as well as a space to ultimately find encouragement and connection. Or maybe I'm just a bored, lonely bitch with time on her hands. I mean, maybe it's all of the above. So I'm just going to take the time to mention here that this is not going to be a super professional, clean presentation at all. Okay, there are plenty of shows out there that do this well, or that are hosted by our professionals who are maybe curators currently, or are art educators, or maybe they used to own galleries and things like that. So they have a certain perspective about dealing with artists and how to approach things in your art career from being on the other side of that. And that's all well and cool. But nah, this here is just going to be more of like a casual camp conversation with a lot of straight talk, because that's really the only way that I know how to be. And it just feels way more real to me. That's the type of shit that I normally connect to, when people are just straight up real and aren't always just putting on just like this clean appearance or presentation to the material. And I mean, again, there's plenty of niggas that do that, and I'm just not concerned with any of that. I'm just gonna be me talking to you about some shit that I just want to share, and that's it. Along the way, though, in the coming episodes to follow, I'll be sharing what I've learned from experience, books, online resources, conversations with other professionals, and yeah. I'll also be giving updates and stories from my own artistic pursuit, just to hold myself accountable to you guys, and to also either confirm or debunk methods that are commonly shared out there. I also will be sharing interviews with other artists. Those will also be sprinkled along the way. I will be talking to them about their work, obstacles that they face, philosophies about their work or art in general, things like that, just to provide a wider range of perspectives about the state of being an artist in this day and age, and hopefully to demonstrate the parallels between all of the different stories out there. And the show will be released about every other week unless noted otherwise. So look forward to that. I'm just releasing the first few episodes a bit early, just so you don't have to wait too long in between, and so you can just see if you like it, okay? Get a feel for what we're going to be doing here, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and go into my own background, just to go ahead and round this out a bit. So I'm originally from the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, specifically Maryland, and I'm currently living in Reno, Nevada. Big change, right? That whole story, I don't know if I'll cover that here, but that is for another day. I do have some formal art education. I went to a 2-year art school when I was living in Silver Spring, Maryland. It was called Maryland College of Art and Design. And then when I graduated from there, I would just take non-credit courses and one-off workshops via various instructors and art institutions. I just decided that I didn't want to be in school still. I wanted to be independent and just start working, and that's what I did. And I don't know, I think at the time my mindset was, well, if I'm an artist, I don't need to be in school. I can just make the work. I'll find my style and everything else along the way. I don't need to just throw all sorts of money into college, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if that's advice that I would give to everyone. I'm just saying that was just the path that I took. And it took me kind of a while to start to actually get the balls to be serious enough to jump out there with what I knew. But yeah, that will also be a topic to be covered in the future. How important is an art degree and what to expect if you're considering going to an art school. But yeah, that's a future episode. So yeah, I've been painting off and on for about the last 10 years or so, and I only became serious within maybe about the last 4 or 5 years. My preferred subject matter tends to be centered on the human figure, but I paint whatever image that I think goes along with the message I'm trying to convey. My work is very expressionistic. I use really bright, bold colors, loose brush strokes. I'm not really concerned with perfect renderings at all. It's, for me, just more about slapping color onto the surface and evoking an emotion from the viewer. One of my main motivations in creating my work is simply to just express myself and just connect with people in that way. The themes that I explore usually come from just a very humanistic, personal, and emotional part of myself. So a lot of my subjects are pulled directly from experiences in my life. If you want to check out my work, I am online, and I will leave all the social media info at the end of this bitch, so just look out for that. But in recent years, what I've been able to do since stepping out and becoming serious about being an artist is that I've had a few shows in Reno, and I've done a group show in Florida a few years ago, and recently I had a month-long residency at the Torpedo Factory in Alexandria, Virginia. And currently where I am, I've reached a point where I might be pivoting a little bit in my career. So I'm a little stuck in my art life right now, and I'm in the middle of figuring out the moves I want to make from this point. Perhaps the podcast is a part of this shift in direction, or maybe expansion is a better term for what's happening right now. But I'm going to be straight up and tell you that I am trudging through a valley of self-doubt and misdirection, and I know I'll be able to find a way out of it. I'm not saying that I'm quitting art per se, but I do think I'm at a point where I need to just take a break and reassess things. But I'll give you updates along the way. I mean, we are all in this together, and if you are going through your own slump, it's okay. Maybe some of the sentiments that I share will kind of echo your own, and that is the point of all this, is just to give you that insight into what these moments are like and how to work your way out of them. So yes, expect for things like that to be covered in future episodes. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and close things out. Thank you for tuning in, but let's continue the conversation online, okay? Find and follow Art Life Confidential via social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can just search Art Life Confidential on Facebook and Instagram, and Twitter. The handle is @ArtLifeCon. I had to shorten it because Twitter didn't allow that many characters for my handle. So you can also visit the website, artlifeconfidential.com, to learn more about me and the show itself. Also, while you're there, feel free to sign up for the email list so you can get the jump on future episodes and guests. If you are an artist out there and would like to join me for a chat on the podcast, or if you just want to say what's up and send me feedback, please email me at artlifeconfidential@gmail.com. For my personal website, if you'd like to see my paintings and what have you, visit me at tracilturner.com. That is TRACI, the letter L, and then TURNER.com. I also am on Instagram at Traci L Turner. And if you are into art vlogs or just want to see what I look like, or I don't know, you just want to keep going down that rabbit hole of the content that I share on the internet, I am on YouTube as well. It's just Traci L Turner Art on YouTube. And I talk about different things about my art life on there too. And all my other social media spaces can be found on the homepage of my website. There are icons set up as soon as you get to the webpage, so feel free to dig on in there if you like to see where the hell else I am and whatever I'm talking about. If you like this episode, please subscribe and stick around for more. You can stream episodes via SoundCloud, and hopefully iTunes should be set up by the time this is released. But yeah, that is, for now, that's where you can find me. Share with the creative or someone who you think would dig the show and the stuff I'm sharing. And until next time, do something fun, keep creating. I will see you in the next show. All right, bye.